Hi guys, welcome back for another set of roster reviews. I have Maverick Ag 06 with me again today, and we have two roster reviews for you today. The first one will be somewhat of a quick one, but then I want you guys to stick through the second one because we have the biggest spender yet to reach out to me for a roster review. So I'm very curious to see what we're going to come across. So Maverick, are you ready for today's roster reviews, including the biggest spender yet?
Let's wail out.
All right. And with that said, guys, let's jump into our first one. And we have Holy Knight. Now, I'm going to paraphrase this because there's a lot of wording here. So basically, he's currently going through DD3. He is currently finishing up Cosmic, getting ready to start City, but would like some recommendations for City for DD3. So we're going to look into that specifically for him to see what he has. And that his alliance is working towards Doom Raid. So we're going to take a look at his Doom Raid characters and traits and see if we can offer him some helpful advice. So with that said, let's jump into his MSF.gg. All right, so we are in Holy Knight's roster here. We are currently have this filtered by city, so we can give him those recommendations for the city lane. He's definitely got some unique stuff going on. Doc Ock is the only one that is already ready to go. Maverick, what are you seeing here? What would you suggest?
Okay, so I want to talk about something that I wouldn't normally talk about, and that is building for future content based off of what you actually pull in red stars.
Yeah.
So he's under 5 million TCP, and it's going to take him a while to farm up some of these characters, but building for future content based off of characters. So I see 3 characters specifically, and I'll talk about a 4th one, but I see 3 characters specifically that I wouldn't necessarily recommend right off the bat for Dark Dimension, but are going to be so good for the future of his roster, comparatively speaking, that it's hard not to mention. And the 2 he's got favorited right now are Cloak and Dagger, and he's got, is that 6 red on both of them?
Yes, that's correct.
6 red on both Cloak and Dagger. And yes, it's going to suck taking them at 3 stars into Dark Dimension 3, but in 4. But man, is it going to be worth it if you can get them farmed up to 4 or 5, 6 stars eventually and already have the gear on them, because they're going to do so much damage. They're going to be better at 3 stars than a lot of characters are going to be at 4 and 5 stars.
Sure.
And they have a lot of control and blinding effects that hopefully will land just with the increased focus that they are getting over other characters like that. I also spy a nice 7 red star Misty Knight down the line, which, I wouldn't necessarily recommend Misty Knight right off the bat, but a 7 red star character that can ability block and stun, and is on a meta team, at least for now, a meta team.
Yeah.
And is after that Silver Surfer power creep, it's still going to be really good, middle of 2022. And then Shang-Chi is also a great option. So, those are unconventional options. Everybody's going to tell you to build symbiotes and farm alien spores, and I would absolutely say farm alien spores and try to grab as many symbiote shards as you absolutely can. But you're going to have just as much of a grind fighting through DD3, DD4 with the symbiotes as you would with these newer characters that you might have one less star into. But have twice the stats.
Yeah, exactly. Those are really good recommendations. Misty Knight is most likely one of the next characters to become farmable after the Secret Avengers are released for Omega Red. So your time waiting to farm Clawing Wing and Misty Knight are, very, very soon. They'll be farmable in this game. So with that said, great recommendations. Let's jump into his Doom Raid, and once again, we'll start alphabetical order with Bio. Unfortunately, currently Bio, you don't really have much of an option here, right? There's no 5-piece, that currently works that doesn't include symbiote. So I'll just let you cover this real quickly here, Maverick.
Yeah, I mean, we've literally just been talking about it. It's the symbiotes. Start to farm your air alien spores. Phyla-Vell is a good stopgap for that.
Yeah.
I see what you're trying to do with the Hulk and the Captain America, and just trying to tank your way through it, and that might help you for a note or two, but it's not going to be very sustainable, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. That's pretty much it for Bio. Let's go to Mutant real quick. And we pretty much at this point, now having us all have a taste of Doom 2. You can, finagle your way with a long shot Shatterstar and, Doom-based difficulty, but they're not going to scale like Astonishing X-Men are going to scale. So definitely, I'd say start taking a look at your Pym Tech. Anything else you would say here?
Yeah, I mean, in the interim, if you want to build up an X Factor Emma Frost Sinister team just to survive until you unlock Jubilee, I think that's fair.
Yep.
And it's not going to hurt you because you're needing him for Adam Warlock anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt to build them to the point where you can get a 7-star Adam Warlock. But I wouldn't go beyond that, and then until you get Jubilee, and then I would push on Axeman.
Yeah. All right. And then let's move to Mystic. Mystic is the one with a lot of moving parts. I mean, obviously, if we suggest Cloak and Dagger for the City DD3, future DD4, it seems only sense that that's the route you go for Mystic, right, Maverick?
Yeah, and he's already got Deathpool, which is the third member of that team, and so that makes it very simple. Just go Cloak, Dagger, Deathpool, Silver Surfer, and then toss in your fifth. Don't put any more into Hela. I keep telling people, and I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over again until I'm blue in the face.
Yeah.
Don't put any more orange into Hela because you need all those miasmas for characters like Cloak and Deathpool and Kitty Pryde, who is going to be needed in the Doom raids more than Hela is.
Yeah. Yeah, and then as far as the fifth goes, I mean, obviously Mordo's level 1, and I don't think I'd recommend that at this point for him. You're pretty much just waiting on who you get unlocked first. Adam Warlock, Doom, or Ebony Maw, I would think, at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you could toss out Hela for now. I wouldn't put more into her, but you could toss her in there. Greg's still going to do some things. He's also going to die. She can spread the debuffs that Cloak and Dagger put out, or the ability block that Surfer does. But, I mean, she's going to die. She's going to be the first one to die every time, and she's not going to be somebody that you're going to want to keep for very long.
All right, sounds good. Let's move on to skill. And we have a good Kestrel, Gamora, Azemo, Hawkeye and Black Widow, Sharon Carter, Captain Sam, Maria Hill. Whoa, the work you have put into your skill already. He's looking in good shape to me. What are you thinking?
Absolutely. I mean, farm Secret Avengers as they become farmable. Toss them in there with Kestrel, and then take your pick on a fifth. I mean, you could use the Gamora, or you can use the Baron Zemo if they die. I know we talked about Shang-Chi for City, and Shang-Chi is like what I'm going to end up using. My final 5 for not for DD5, but for Doom 2 is going to be Secret Avengers, Kestrel, and Shang-Chi. So you can't go wrong with that either. But in the short term, I would say you don't need to invest more into this for Doom raids other than farming Secret Avengers and then just using them with the characters that you have at the top there.
Yep. Sounds great. All right. Next up is tech. So we have Kestrel done, a Ghost done, a Doc Ock done, a Nebula who's not bad far behind. There's a Minerva. There's a Shuri. You might suggest Misty Knight since he does have a potential 7 red at one point. But what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Misty Knight as part of a City option. If you're going to build Misty Knight for City, you might as well use her in the Doom raids, especially if you have the Doom one on the left or the Doom one on the right, where you actually have to face Doom is in the boss node, and that ability block that she can put on Doom is very useful. So yeah, if you're going to go ahead and do that, I would recommend that. I also always like to recommend Ultron until you get Doom, just for all the bots that he can put out that can also be fodder for the opponents, but also give you buffs and stuff like that as well.
All right, that's all great suggestions. So Holy Knight, man, hope you enjoyed this roster review. And if you guys at home would also like to know how to get your own roster review done by Maverick and I'm going to show you guys how to do that right now. Are you interested in having your roster reviewed by Maverick and I in this quick format roster review, helping you out in a game mode or two? If you are, all you need to do is join my Discord. The link to that is in the description down below. Then all you need to do is find the video section, find roster reviews, and there you'll find the latest roster review application where you can submit your request to have your roster reviewed by Maverick and I in a YouTube format. So if you need help clearing any content in the game, don't hesitate, apply today. All right, and our final roster review today is Lohar X, the self-admittedly the biggest spender I have had yet on this show. Not very far into the game. He's probably like 50 days as of us recording, but he wants to know how to clear. He wants clear campaigns in Dark Dimension. Now, we don't have all the time in the world, so we are going to focus on clearing campaigns. Normally, with free-to-play players, I usually say, okay, what's the current, campaign you're going against, and we would just review that section or that chapter. But because I know he's a big spender and he will blitz through this campaign content, we're gonna do our best to give him suggestion for everything that he has left in campaigns, and we will mention good Dark Dimension characters as we roll across them. Lohar X, if you're not satisfied with us covering Dark Dimension, please just submit or let me know you'd like to be reviewed again next week for Dark Dimension, and we'd be more than happy to do so. But with that said, let's jump into his MSF.gg. So the first campaign that he needs help with is Villain Chapter 7, Nodes 4 through 6, which require Mystic Villains. We did a filter here by Mystic. So he doesn't really have anything built in this category yet, and I'll let Maverick say something else here in a second. But my big suggestion, if you're trying to streamline this content, is focus on Mystic Villain controllers that also will help you unlock Phoenix. So like Hela, Mordo, see if I can name them all here. Ronan, yes, Ronan. Loki. There's 4, and then you're either going to go
Nobu or Hand Assassin.
Yeah, Nobu or Hand Assassin, and you're good to go. I don't think, because the only new character besides them is Doom, but most likely you're not. I'm assuming you'll get Phoenix before you get Doom, but if you do get Doom before Phoenix, you can use Doom. But yeah, so I definitely pick those characters to streamline content. It's not the most efficient clear, but given that you're trying to streamline and get as much content done as soon as possible as being a spender in this game, definitely best way to go. But Maverick did point something out when we first got here, and I'm just going to go ahead and let Maverick cover it. If you want to say something about the node clear, you can, but go ahead.
I'm just going to go ahead and say how jealous I am of this guy's new Warriors because that just takes my breath away. You want to talk about a team that'll get you through pretty much anything in Dark Dimension right now. The 3 of those characters plus Silver Surfer, that's a fantastic Mystic Raid team. That's a fantastic Mystic section on Dark Dimension 3. I feel like those 4 characters right there are going to be able to get him to fly through Dark Dimension 2 already if he hasn't already unlocked Ultron, which we might even see that here coming up in a second. But yeah, I mean, like that's great. I put all my T4s into Dagger. I bet his problem is that he isn't getting enough T4s. But that is a fantastic roster. And if you're talking about Dark Dimension, those are great Dark Dimension selections right there.
All right, that's good. Let's get into the next campaigns that he's stuck at. All right, so the next set of chapters is Nexus 4 through 6, which is Kree, Guardian, and Asgardian. I'm going to let Maverick explain that one. And then the next section, Nexus 7 through 9, which takes SHIELD, Brotherhood, and X-Men. So first we're starting off with the 4 through 6. So Maverick, what would you suggest for him for best 5 characters?
So, I mean, we're going to try to minimize his building, and so we're going to go hot through all 3 teams. I mean, he's already got Phyla-Vell. That's a fantastic place to start. Only Kree character that I would worry about right now. So if you'll swap over to Asgard, I would definitely do the Hela and the Loki that he's building for the villain section anyway. Both characters that can help unlock Phoenix.
Okay.
And then you could also probably use that Thor if you wanted to.
Okay.
So that would be 4. And then there's Gamora that works with Phyla-Vell and as a Guardian. So that, to me, that's 5.
All
so
right.
realistically speaking, you're looking at the, Thor, Hela, Loki, Phyla-Vell, Gamora.
All right. And then keeping on this train of trying to be efficient building as possible. It won't be the most efficient clear resources, but the characters I'm going to recommend here, we're going to go to X-Men. As where you already have enough shards for Iceman. I would just build Iceman, Kitty Pryde, Bishop, and Beast. You don't have Jubilee unlocked, but I'd build those 4, right? You're already going to build them up until the level 70s, 80s to do Doom content for you in the future. I would just build them here. You already have to build up that far. At that rate, they are going to clear the campaign. And then for your 5th, once again, just trying to be efficient. In SHIELD, you already have Maria Hill invested into. You're going to pump her into the 70s and into the 80s. I would just keep going that trend to clear that content. and then you get the content done, and you're also building for Doom rates at the same time. All right, and then last but not least, we need to focus on Doom War, and there's a lot going on here at Doom War, and we're going to try to streamline as best as possible. Right after we have time to look at it, we'll be right back. So instead of keeping looking at his roster, because I don't think it's really necessary for some of this we're currently reviewing, but Doom Chapter 1, Hero Mutant, Hero Inhumans, Maverick, take it away. What do you think?
I mean, you're already having him build basically X-Men anyway, so Astonishing X-Men is going to be the best way to get through this efficiently and quickly.
Yep.
Especially since Inhumans it's a great team, especially needed to unlock Ebony Maw, but X-Men's going to get you through there quicker.
Yeah. And if you're looking to build the newest shiny toys in the game, you could definitely throw Wolverine there with his rework as your 5th mutant until you get Jubilee. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Hero Mystic and Guardians. I know we've already suggested Gamora, and she's already built up. What else are you thinking here?
Well, I think he's already ready to go, but he's got Gamora, he's got New Warriors, and Silver Surfer, and that puts you done.
Done. All right. There we go. Next set. Shield Wave 1 Fantastic Four. This might actually require some building.
I know he's got a Thor that we recommended for another campaign node that would work.
All right.
There's Maria Hill.
Yep.
You could do like a Black Widow Hawkeye here. Those are some good Shield / Wave 1 characters. I wouldn't build Fantastic Four for this.
Yeah.
So I would lean heavy into the Shield Wave 1 Avengers kind of angle for this. And you could probably, with some light spending on some legacy orbs, get your Shield / Wave 1 Avengers up to some star levels and blow through that relatively quickly at a lower power level.
All right, Lohar X, we did take a look at it just to trace, make sure we didn't miss anything, especially if you had really high red stars on somebody. We were surprised to see you have Invisible Woman unlocked already. This is probably a good 5th on that team. So, taking a look at Chapter 2, Nodes 1 through 3, AIM, Wakandan, Mercenaries. We all know AIM's the most efficient clear, but taking a look at his roster and see what he has unlocked and not unlocked. And one of the things I think that, seeing a heavy spender, there's only so much they can do when it comes to the War Store, and Graviton's in the War Store, and he's probably like the least, character that you would want to grab at the War Store. But looking at the other, Mercenary Wakandans, he's already off to a great start. That was what we saw. You can see his mercs there. He's got 5 on Taskmaster, 5 on Deadpool, 4 Killmonger. And then if you look at his Wakandans, obviously Shuri's a late game character currently still. He's already got Shuri unlocked at 5, Killmonger 4, Black Panther at 4 red. So ultimately, what's the combo here he wants to put together here, Maverick?
I mean, take Shuri, toss her on the mercs, add Killmonger for some synergy. And go Shuri, Killmonger, Taskmaster, Riot Guard, and then either Deadpool or Merc Lieutenant. I would probably just lean to Deadpool because he's already got it. And Shuri should be able to cover him on the defense up and the healing. You won't get the offense up from Merc Lieutenant, but it should be okay at least to get you covered.
Yep. All right. And at the end of the day, you only really need to 1-star these the first go around, so you can get to the nodes that really matter, and that's the character farming. So all right, let's get to the next section. Doom Chapter 2, nodes 4 through 6, Ham, Marauder, Spider-Verse. We took a look at his roster, and are we going to recommend anything other than symbiotes, Maverick?
No, I mean, if Sabretooth isn't bad now with his rework, so I mean, that's going to be a character, especially if you're building up quickly for new meta teams and you want to get a head start on Weapon X. That's not a terrible way to go either, but I would definitely, when you got all the symbiotes unlocked, it should be able to get you through Doom Chapter 2.
All right, which he does. All right, next up we have Black Order, Hydra, and Power Armor. All right, after reviewing his roster, this one to me seems like the one that's really going to slow him down the most. Black Order, Hydra, Power Armor. Maverick, what did you see? What would you recommend?
So ideally, you want all 4 members of the Black Order so that they can pair and empower Thanos on the boss node.
Yeah.
But that's going to be difficult until you unlock Ebony Maw, which is going to take some time. I would still recommend going ahead and doing the 3 Black Order members since they're still a pretty, top 5 war offense team.
Yeah.
I would do the 3 Black Order members that aren't Ebony Maw and Thanos, and then I would probably do Falcon from Power Armor and Baron Zemo from Hydra.
All right, and which we did review, he does have access to currently. All right, and then Chapter 3, nodes 1 through 3 have no requirements. You can use your best characters, but nodes 4 through 6 have Avengers and Fantastic Four. And with Secret Avengers having an Avenger tag or viable for this, I think it's obvious what we're going to recommend, but Maverick, go ahead.
I would do those 3 for sure.
Yep.
We've already talked about him building up Invisible Woman just
Yep.
as an all-around character, so I would go there. Then you could go like Falcon or Black Widow just to finish it up, a little bit extra speed up, and then that should be out of the issue.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned Thor, but Thor won't gain charges from those characters. So
correct.
All right, so that's there, and then the last 3 we have is Hero Tech, Hero Supernatural. All right, so after review, Maverick, what was you just for him here in this node or these nodes?
So I mean, obviously you've got Kestrel. And Shuri, he's already unlocked, so I would definitely do that. We've talked about how good Falcon can be and stuff like this, especially if you're going through challenges. He's a great blaster option. Misty Knight is really good here as well. And then you could just take whatever is your best fifth that you've brought up at the time, whether that's, Ghost Rider if you get it to that point, or Vision, or Coulson. There's a lot of different ways. Realistically speaking, once you have Shuri and Falcon and Kestrel and Misty Knight, it's just who can stay upright long enough.
Yeah. Yep. Just need someone who can survive. But with that said, that's all the campaigns you have left to do. So a lot of those characters that we mentioned are great Dark Dimension characters. Once again, Lohar X, if you would like a separate just Dark Dimension review, please reach out to me and I'll add it to the next week's schedule. But for that, Maverick, anything else you want to say? We just finished up this week's roster reviews in 2 videos.
No, I'm good, man. I still wanted to steal that dude's new Warriors team, though.
You and I both, especially after mine got cremated today on stream. But with that said, guys, if you guys enjoy these roster reviews and would like to support them, please do me a huge favor. Hit that thumbs up button and don't forget to leave a comment. It can be anything. I don't care what the comment is. It just helps the algorithm. If you guys are new here and haven't done so already, hit that subscribe. And if you don't want to miss any other roster reviews or any other videos I do on my channel, don't forget that notification bell. With all that said, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.